Hi, I'm Subcool. People ask me all the time, what does TGA stand for? Well, TGA stands for The Green Avenger or The Green Avengers. The Green Avengers is a concept of mine. I wanted to bring together the brain power and the data from some of the most talented and passionate breeders and growers in the world. TGA is nothing more than a bunch of people who share information, and the information moves forward the genetic gene pool. Through TGA and the testing that we have done, we have been able to develop medical strains outside the standard medical community. No one's doing any testing as far as what strains work for different ailments and stuff, and we don't claim to be scientists or anything, but we make new genetics and we distribute the genetics to medical patients. The medical patients give us feedback on how these plants interact with certain illnesses or diseases or ailments or pains. And through this we learn what strains work best. The other thing that was important to me is 12 years ago I was growing a lot of genetics, and it was really all the same to me. And I see the same problem now. Kush is all the rage, and that's great and everything, but when you have 20 kinds of Kush in one club, and that's all that a patient has access to, really all he's going to get out of that from a medical benefit is sleep, to be sleep and maybe some pain relief. And I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes here, because if Kush works for you, then great. But to me, I find it to be very lethargic and missing a lot of the flavors of terpenes. Terpenes are important because, me and Ed Rosenthal both feel that while everybody's focused on THC content, CBDs, CBNs, that it's just as important what terpene profile it is. We've learned that the lemon flavor or the limonene strains are really good for nerve damage, especially when taken orally, ingested through medibles such as cold pressed tincture made with glycerin. I don't believe in alcohol, or just medibles. So people are getting really good results like that. We've learned that jelly bean is really good for depression. It's upbeat, and if you again make light dose medibles that you can titrate, you can consume jelly bean tincture, small doses, a few drops every 2 hours, without getting over medicated, without getting sleepy or tired. And this is an example of what TGA does. We come up with the ideas to cross things, and then we all do it together, and then we all find out the results. And normal businesses do this all the time. They'll take 3 engineers, and the combined knowledge of those 3 engineers is like 70 years. Well, with TGA, we have unlimited combined knowledge, because as more people get on board, share their information, grow out the genetics, then we learn more. And the medical cannabis movement has really helped us, because you can't do this stuff underground. We're all licensed legal medical growers and providers and caregivers, and that allows us to share freely the medicines that come from these genetics and the genetics and the tincture. We donate heavily to local groups, co-ops that aren't making money, aren't selling anything, and we feel like this is doing our part to give back to the community, but it also helps us collect the test data. So that's kind of what the Green Avengers are. It's just it's a silly name, that we shorten to TGA, and we're all part of it, and we're all people who believe that cannabis should be legal both medically and recreationally. We are all just fathers and mothers with kids going to school. We pay taxes, we work hard, we get hurt, we have medical bills, and we're just like all the other Americans on this planet that choose to maybe take a drink of alcohol or whatever they do. We just choose to use the cannabis plant in order to imbibe. And while I'm heavily involved in the medical end of it, You know, I've been a recreational user all my life. I'm fit, I'm healthy. I am trying to cut down on the smoking end of it, but you know, we medicate now through tinctures and medibles and lollipops, and it's healthier for us. And I don't drink alcohol, and I don't take any form of pills or drugs, put them in my body. Hell, guys, I don't even drink Pepsi anymore. We gave it up for health. So we just find the cannabis lifestyle is a cleaner, better lifestyle. I even find the people involved in the cannabis community are generally better people, especially growers. You know, growers are really good parents. They're really good nurturers. And all of those qualifications come into play when we look at someone to be part of TGA. We like parents a lot. We like someone with kids that is established and their kids are doing well. We don't allow scumbags into TGA because there are scumbags in our culture just like any other culture. But I'm proud of my culture, and I'm proud to be a pothead. And you know, one day the war on potheads will end, and we can stop wasting money and throwing people in jail who are just working hard trying to pay their bills. And all that comes into play when we talk about TGA. We talk about helping each other out, being there in times of crisis, being there in times of need, being willing to help someone both physically, mentally, financially, and you know, whatever someone needs, to be a friend. I find that our country, hell, our whole planet has gone to hell in a handbasket, literally. And it's because we're all out looking for ourselves. And I was that person for a long time. But I came out west and I found the medical marijuana movement, and I had people give me marijuana for free without looking for anything in return. And this inspired something inside of me. And I'd like to thank Kareem of Onion. He's the one that started this with inside me. It changed me from a person who was a cash cropper, who was a person who cared more about people. So that's what TGA is.